in the August edition of Detroit Sports Media, coming from the Joe Koser Celebrity Softball game out in Highland Township. We have a lot of great stories for you as we take you to Comerica Park. We also take you out to Utica, NASCAR, and the Detroit Lions. Hi, I'm Roy Akers, as we get on with our show, and that happens next.
Hi, I'm Thad Zott with Zott M59 Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. It's April, and you know what time it is.
Joe Koser here, and it's time for hockey in the D.
Whoa, big fella. I'm Rod Allen, and I'm here to tell you it's time for baseball in the D.
Rod, Joe, you're both right. But there is one thing bigger in the D, the deal, baby. DealsInTheD.com is where you'll find every vehicle listed with our very best price.
During our spring clearance event, we have leases starting at $129 per month. DealsInTheD.com.
That's country strong.
Ice Cube and former NBA players were out at the LCA recently, and our Joey Ellis and Jason Ross Jr. have all the action.
There are three former Pistons competing in this season's Big Three basketball. Jason Maxiell, Rick Mahorn, 1989 champ with the Pistons, and probably the most notable of those three is the 2004 Finals MVP, Chauncey Billups. He was in attendance tonight, but unfortunately was unable to play. Chauncey had surgery on his knee a few months back and said that he just wants to get that knee right and let it heal up. Although, even though he wasn't on the floor, his very presence certainly brought out this feeling of nostalgia and brought flashbacks into the minds of Pistons fans who were captivated by him in that 2004 run to a title over the Lakers in 5 games. Looking back on that 2004 run, there were memorable moments along the way, just like this one here, where Chauncey hits the half-court heave against the Nets in Game 5 of Round 2 to send that game into overtime. And along the way during that spectacular run, Chauncey was the conductor, he was the vocal leader, he scored the ball, he passed the ball, he facilitated, and most of his teammates will tell you that he was the guy who truly took the pressure off of everyone else. And that's so important. It's not necessarily something that jumps out in a statistical category, but it's something that is so vital in a championship run. And now Chauncey is edged in the history of Pistons basketball forever. He had his jersey retired a couple of years back at the Palace of Auburn Hills, and now that #1 hangs up in the rafters here at the brand new sparkling Little Caesars Arena. It was definitely fun seeing Chauncey back in the building tonight. For DetroitSportsMedia.com, I'm Jason Ross Jr.
The second season of Ice Cube's Big Three Basketball League, Week 4 action brought it right here to Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, which also meant the return of several Pistons players such as Jason Maxiell, 1989 NBA champ Rick Mahorn, and the fan favorite here in 2004 NBA Finals MVP Chauncey Billups, as all three of them made their triumphant return back to the Motor City.
Man, it's always good to be here. You know, everybody knows how much I love this city, love the fans. Obviously, I never had the opportunity to play in this building. I wish I would have. I wish we played in the city when we were here. But the Palace was good to us. The city was good to us, the fans. So it's always good to be back here. I mean, I'm such a big Pistons fan. You know, I'm such a fan for the Pistons. You know what I mean? So it's good to be back here, and I'm excited for the team for next year. The East is wide open, and I'm excited for the team. New coach, new everything. So I'm excited.
And as for the basketball, Billups, the captain of the Killer Threes, wasn't able to go tonight, unfortunately, after dealing with a knee surgery a couple months back. The Meta World Peace, formerly known as Ron Artest, also went out of this game early, and he definitely still has his competitive juices flowing, having gotten ejected from this one just 30 seconds in after punting a basketball into the upper deck. That absence really hurt the Killer Threes, as Al Harrington played for 7 different NBA teams, was able to power Team Trilogy with 19 points. Team Trilogy, the defending champs from last season, was finally able to pick up their first win of the season 4 weeks into the 8-week season. With Week 4 action in the books tonight, Week 5 action travels south next week when they travel to American Airlines Arena, the home of the Miami Heat. From Little Caesars Arena, Joey Ellis, Detroit Sports Media.
At the Detroit Sports Media golf outing, every year we give the Ty Tyson Award out. Our own Trevor Thompson, president of the Detroit Sports Media, presents it to a very deserving Matt Shepard. Ready, gentlemen.
Good. This is a first.
Ready? What an honor to present the 2017 Ty Tyson Award for Excellence in Sports Broadcasting to Mr. Matt Shepard, the guy who does it all in this market. And I'm just wondering, Shep, over the years, you've done so much. How have you managed to keep it all together? I mean, you get up so early in the morning, you do every event out there, and you're looking handsome as ever.
Well, thanks, bud. Supportive family. good friends in this business. I don't consider it work. We work with the best people in the business, right? You and I work with guys like Darren Elliott and Chris Osgood. We work with Grant Long and Greg Kelser. We work with guys like Rod Allen and Craig Monroe and Kirk Gibson. It doesn't get any better than that, you know? I mean, I get the opportunity to work with Rob Rubik and Chris Spielman on a regular basis during football. I learn from them. I enjoy it. I can't wait to get to work, quite honestly. So, yeah, it's a lot to balance, but in the end, it's so much fun and it's such a learning experience every day.
What aspect of this job is most rewarding for you this far into your career?
Oh, I think anytime a fan comes up to you and I, no matter where we may be, Comerica Park, Little Caesars Arena, Ford Field, wherever it may be, and they say, I really enjoy your work. And I've gotten that a little bit more with Michigan basketball probably than anything else because of their recent run to a national championship game and people saying I turned down the volume on the TV and listened to you on radio. Or I got a really nice email from an elderly gentleman, he called himself, who watched me fill in for Mario on a Tigers game and said he's very particular about his Tigers broadcast, he's very particular about baseball broadcasts, but he listened to my whole game and really enjoyed it. It's little things like that that really bring the joy out in what we do, and not that it wouldn't make it worthwhile anyway, but it just enhances the opportunities that you know you're sharing games and moments with people.
We at the DSM are all about trying to groom the next generation of sportscasters. So when you look back on your career, how it started, what motivated you along the way, and I know things have changed, but what piece of advice would you have for young sportscasters out there or announcers that want to do play-by-play based on your own experience and how things have changed? What would be the number one thing you'd say to them today?
I would say diversify. So make sure you can write. Make sure you work hard and follow somebody who you respect. It could be Trevor. It could be Mario. It could be, a guy like me if you want it, and pick their brains and try to find out from as much from them as you possibly can, how they prepare for games. When I do my basketball games, I took a little bit from a guy by the name of Mike Inglis in Miami. He does the Miami Heat. And a little bit from Ernie Harwell, believe it or not. So when I do my baseball broadcasts, I take a little bit from various baseball announcers who I greatly respect. Obviously, Ernie Harwell. Ken Daniels was a big influence on my hockey broadcasts. From a football standpoint, I kind of created my own, but I've talked to different people throughout the NFL, and I pick their brains. You can never be too good, too old, or too new to learn something from somebody. You and I learn from each other all the time. So I would tell them to do that. Be aggressive in what you're doing, but really learn how to write. It's really important because it helps you then learn how to speak a little bit more. And I would say in terms of diversifying, blog once in a while, do some podcasts, do radio, do TV, learn what people behind the scenes do. You appreciate all the effort that they put in because they can help make you better.
You couldn't golf today. You've got a game to call tonight, but you made the time to drive all the way out here to Cherry Creek to accept this Ty Tyson Award.
Big deal.
What does it mean to you? Why did you make the time to do that today, despite the fact you've got work to do?
Well, it's pretty emotional for me, so I'll try to keep it together. But first of all, to receive it from you, somebody I greatly respect and I consider a friend, but also because of the great names that are on that trophy, it means a great deal to me. Ernie Harwell's on that trophy, man. I mean, that is a huge, huge deal. And to have a lot of people in this room who have influenced my career. Brian Bender's a really good friend of mine, right? Brian was a boss of mine with the Detroit Lions. I greatly respect him, not just as a man of principle and a profession, but also as a friend. Bill Harrington's a guy who I've gotten to know over the years. I greatly respect him. George Eichhorn, and the amount of effort they put into things. I mean, it's just a really big deal for me. It's something that I will always cherish. It's something that's going to go on my wall, and I'm going to show everybody who comes through my house, and not to boast, but just because of what Ty Tyson was all about and because of the people who've won it before me.
You're well-deserving, Matt. It was a pleasure to present it to you. This year's Ty Tyson Award winner for excellence in sports broadcasting, we give you Mr. Matt Shepard. Roy, back to you.
Our dad was a successful attorney. He didn't make a big fuss about himself, but everyone knew and respected him, like they do my brother Mike.
I didn't get a chance to practice with Dad, but we still consider ourselves a family law firm because we treat every client like family.
Giving you the same care and respect you'd give a family member.
That's the real advantage, and a commitment from me, Mike Morse. Call and see for yourself. 855-MIKE-WINS. 855-MIKE-WINS.
When we return, we're going to take you out to NASCAR as Richard Childress and we go around the track at 150 miles an hour, and we talk about two of his very favorite topics.
I've been active for as long as I can remember. Staying healthy is everything, not just for me, but for my whole family. Kelly and I run, do yoga to find some balance, and work to eat right. From the moment our twins were born at St. Joe's, we've been focused on keeping them safe and healthy. And as a dad, I'm going to do everything I can to be a positive role model. The journey to better health starts with one step. I'm Detroit Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford. Join me.
It's time to learn more. Visit stjoeshealth.org.
Okay. How about this? So when a driver comes down through here, that's how you got to leave pit road. There's a car behind us, but I think we can get away from him. So what you got to imagine is people on your outside, inside, trying to get under you, outside of you. Somebody's right in front of you that you can't outrun. We're running about 102 right there, and then on the back stretch you come down here. We should get close to 140. There you go, we made it to 140, just to give you a little bit of the thrill of the ride there. Try not to go through these corners over 100 with these street tires, because they're you don't never know how they're going to react. Run one of them off, it wouldn't feel good.
How fast we been doing in this first lap?
144 or 45.
Pretty awesome. Let me ask you a couple
Right
questions.
at 150 right there.
Got it. Let me ask you a couple real quick questions.
Okay.
First one, you must be very proud of your grandson Austin winning the Daytona 500 this year. Is he on your expectations for what you expected his career to do so far?
Yeah, he's really dedicated to what he does, and he really wants it really bad. And I'm really proud of Ty. Both of them's won races and won championships, and so I'm really proud of what both of them have done. And I think if we can get Austin the right car and the right equipment, I think he can have a chance of showing up in the chase and making a real run for it.
I know you always expect to get a Dale Earnhardt question. What's one thing you can say about him maybe people don't know about him, and your great relationship you have with him?
I mean, he was a very passionate man. Although they used him as the intimidator, he was also a very passionate man about everything he did. He cared about his fans, he cared about his family and his friends, and it's just amazing to have a great friend and to be able to accomplish the things we did together. And I know how proud he is of his family as well today. If he was here, he'd be proud of Dale Jr., Kelly, Kerry, the whole group of them.
And he was a marketing genius. He's one of the main reasons why all those trailers are sitting out on the other side of those grandstands.
Exactly, it's for sure. Were
Richard?
they scolding me for going too fast?
Are they?
Yeah.
Well, tell them it was okay with me. Next
We
time
only
you
hit right
can
at
take it to the
150.
limit. You can take it to the limit with me.
Richard,
it was a real honor to meet you.
thank you.
so
Nice
much.
meeting you guys. Thank you. Enjoy.
We caught up recently to seven-time NASCAR champion Jimmy Johnson. He talks about his season and his future. With me is Jimmy Johnson, seven-time NASCAR Cup champion. I think I'll start there. They've changed the playoffs so many times. I know you've got desires to win an 8th, 9th, or more. What's it going to take for you to get over that?
There's so many moving pieces to motorsports, and I think that's what makes it so exciting and interesting. Certainly formats have changed, rules have changed, generation of cars, rules packages from engine. We've got this discussion of the all-star package and restrictor plates. It's just never ending, right? Things are always changing. But that's the part that I enjoy and love in the process of working with my team to try to get the best out of the most out of the car, the most out of me, the most out of engineering. And the sport has changed so much over the years has become so much more engineering based. I can remember when I first started, and we might have had 5% of our workforce at Hendrick with an engineering degree, and now it's probably 85% of the people there.
And, you know, taking a look at that, you and Chad Knaus are kind of like chameleons because you have made the changes over the last decade, and you have done that. What is there something in particular that you two are focused on? I mean, taking a look at the data and to kind of go ahead and use performance for your race car?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, you know, our desire to be competitive and our work ethic to be competitive is what has kept us, you know, in the mix for so many years. And we haven't been to the best of our form here in the last 12 to 18 months, but you know, our commitment to being back on top is higher than it's ever been. And, you know, things just kind of come in cycles. So we're trying to be patient as we're developing a new car and some new internal policies in the way that we build race cars at Hendrick Motorsports, and just trying to get our company back on top. So right now it's more about patience combined with that intense work ethic that we both have.
Final question. Jeff Gordon helped you get your start in NASCAR. Now he's going to the Hall of Fame. Besides the numbers that he's accumulated and your work relationship, what makes him a Hall of Famer that goes beyond any statistics?
I just think he is way more than a driver, and you know, the Hall is supposed to showcase the best that our industry has ever seen. And Jeff is one of a very, very few that has honestly and truly transcended our sport. When you look at his reign on top and how he helped make NASCAR a nationwide, even in some respects, a global force. His rivalry with Earnhardt, the things that he did outside of the race car, and being in movies and being in music videos and just being in the mainstream marketing. You know, that we all know the stats, but there's that piece as well. Then there's also the owner piece that Jeff has had along the way. So Jeff is far more than a driver, and very deserving to be in the Hall of Fame.
Jimmy, thanks a lot for coming on. I know you got to be somewhere.
Unbeatable price, service, selection, and customer satisfaction?
That's the Gowling difference. Only at Gowling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Your Ram store.
During the spring sales event, lease a 2018 Ram 1500 Bighorn Quad Cab 4x4 starting at $199 a month employee, $259 friends and family. Or during the Ram Truck Month, lease a 2018 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4, just $239 employee, $289 friends and family. Get to Gowling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on Telegraph, north of Square Lake, just west of I-75 at exit 75.
With me is Detroit Lion legend, Hall of Famer Lem Barney. Lem, what are you seeing on these Matt Patricia practices? You have a defensive-minded coach that's really getting at it. What are you seeing that you like?
Well, I think it's good, particularly defense. Defense need to have more time in practice than I think the offense. But when you get both of them going together, they'll be ready for the game if they commit themselves to doing what they need to do.
Now, I think it's very helpful when you see, like last week, you know, Lions practice against the Raiders, this week against the Giants. It's really a walkthrough type practice today, but what are the players learning out on the field on a day like this, seeing somebody different on the line?
Well, when you connecting with them in real life rather than just watching them on the film, you'll have an understanding if I'm playing against this team, what his speed is, what his steps are, how much he's going to run, and things of that nature. So I think it's a good thing for both teams, offensively and defensively.
Now, taking a look at the, you know, when you were playing in the NFL back in the 60s and 70s, defenses were a lot simpler than they are today. How would you prepare for playing another team now? A lot more film study?
I think the whole thing about the film studying is you need to see it. You get a chance, I think, to see 3 of your last games that you played against the opponent. So you got now an opportunity to have these three games. And then what they did on 1st and 10, 2nd and short, 3rd and long, midfield, short yardage, and goal line that was successful. You can look for it again when you play them and again.
Lem, I want to thank you very much for taking a couple minutes out. You are the legend. And you go out there, and I hope to see a lot more practices coming forward.
Thank you very much, and I say
we go out to Utica right now, and we get the highlights of what's going on in USPBL baseball with Neil Rule.
Welcome back. Neil Rule here, the voice of the USPBL for Detroit Sports Media. Today we're joined by Justin Orndorff. He is the Director of Player Personnel for the USPBL. And Justin, some big news out of camp just this afternoon, as a matter of fact. You guys are signing guys to professional organizations left and right. It happened again today.
Yeah, 4 so far this year, and 2 players and 2 young pitchers are now going to the Seattle Mariners organization. We know every year that an organization is going to call us after the draft and say, hey, we need 2 young arms to come in and fill out the rosters, and Cody Brown and Jake Meyer happen to be those guys.
When you look especially what Cody Brown did, and obviously Jake as well, but they came in here, they asserted themselves. They came in here, they made their presence known, and lucky for them, now they're signed to a professional organization.
That's exactly right. And Cody was a guy last year who was actually like the Jake Mayer this year. So it's like he came in last year, we groomed him, he spent a whole offseason, came in, really far surpassed expectations. And Jake was an accomplished college pitcher, had some big wins against some major Division I programs. And so they both really fit the bill of what the organization was needed.
Justin, that's not all that's been going on around here as well. You guys broke new ground in the game of baseball at any level with the USPBL 2.5 rule. Explain that to everybody.
Yeah, so basically what we decided to do was no inning will start after the 2 hour and 25-minute mark. And we started to think about this, not this year, but kind of last year, kind of gauging off kind of what the fans were seeing, leaving games. And we wanted to give an expectation of what you can see at a USPBL game, right? And what we've seen so far is by implementing the rule, the games have been a little bit more faster pace, more action, and we're actually getting the games in.
Everybody knows they're on the clock, right? I mean, essentially, that's what the story is. And if you're a player, a little more pep in the step around the park, isn't there?
That's exactly right. So there's definitely a greater sense of urgency, whether it be running out to the mound, in between pitches, or really, to me, just hitting the first kind of 3 pitches that you see so the ball's just getting in play.
Well, Justin, as always, we appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us here on Detroit Sports Media.
Thanks, Neil.
Unbeatable price, service, selection, and customer satisfaction?
That's the Gowling difference. Only at Gowling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Your Ram store.
During the spring sales event, lease a 2018 Ram 1500 Bighorn Quad Cab 4x4 starting at $199 a month employee, $259 friends and family. Or during the Ram Truck Month, lease a 2018 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4, just $239 employee, $289 friends and family. Get to Gowling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on Telegraph, north of Square Lake, just west of I-75 at exit 75.
Our dad was a successful attorney. He didn't make a big fuss about himself, but everyone knew and respected him, like they do my brother Mike.
I didn't get a chance to practice with Dad, but we still consider ourselves a family law firm because we treat every client like family.
Giving you the same care and respect you'd give a family member.
That's the real advantage, and a commitment from me, Mike Morse. Call and see for yourself. 855-MIKE-WINS. 855-MIKE-WINS.
Our own Newman caught up with Stink, Matt Schlereth, at a golf outing recently, and Stink goes over all things ESPN, Fox, and a whole lot more.
All right, we're here at the LPGA Celebrity Pro-Am out here at Egypt Valley with 3-time Super Bowl champion Stink, Mark Schlereth. Mark, welcome to Michigan.
Well, you know what? I feel like it's home away from home, as my son pitched here for 3 years, and I spent a lot of time in Michigan. My daughter-in-law was born and raised here, so love Michigan. Always love getting back to this event with Meyer. It's phenomenal, so we have a great time, and it's just a pleasure to be back.
How many years have you been coming out for the LPGA Celebrity Pro-Am?
I want to say 3 or 4 years now in a row, and it's just been they've been so good to us, and they're so, I mean, obviously so wonderful, but also all the things they're doing. They're trying to raise $1 million this year alone. They've already raised $3.1 million. So always love the fact that Meyer just does such a great job of giving back to the community and really being involved in their community. So I just am always excited when I get the invitation. Like, I will never turn down this invitation.
Do you miss Herm Edwards this year?
I do miss Herm. He's my road dog. Absolutely love Herm. But Herm's doing his thing over at Arizona State. We keep in contact with Herm all the time. Good. Just always touching base with him. But he's going to be great for them. The bottom line for me with Herm is it's really about the relationship aspect. Like I always say, regardless of the business that you're in the relationship business. Mm-hmm. And if you're not in that business, you're going out of business. And that's what Herm is. He's a relationship guy. And those kids, I mean, they're just going to be blessed to be around Herm on a day-to-day basis, like I was for like 7 years or 8 years at ESPN.
I felt blessed last year just being on the golf course with her.
Yeah.
Motivational. So with that, you're finishing up your first year at Fox, going into year 2. What's most exciting about switching over to Fox Sports from the mothership?
Well, for me, it was really the opportunity to do games. And I just wasn't, unless I went to do college, I wasn't going to get that opportunity, obviously, on Monday night. So it's something that I've always wanted to do. I always felt like I would be decent at it. And Fox gave me that opportunity. So I'm just so thankful and so grateful to Fox for giving me the opportunity to go do games. And I've got one of the greatest people I've ever been around in Dick Stockton. He's a phenomenal human being.
Right.
And it's just been a blessing to be a part of it. So it's really exciting.
Well, Mark, we appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your day. Continue to hit them long and straight.
That's
With
all I
that,
do.
thanks again to Stink, Michael DeRay, Detroit Sports Media.
Thanks, Newman. Always enjoy hearing your reports. You're a great interviewer, and it's certainly a great time. Right now, we have Blair Glover. She will tell you about the latest on Ron Gardenhire, who's had an excellent season as a first-year manager as he has taken on the Detroit Tigers to new heights.
Blair Glover for DetroitSportsMedia.com here at Comerica Park, where just behind me the Tigers are practicing with new manager Ron Gardenhire. I had the opportunity to talk with him about his season thus far, and guess what? By our standards, it seems pretty successful.
Well, I just think the way the guys play, we know we're young, and we know a lot of teams have a lot better people than we do right now. Because of how young we are. But, you know what, they compete, and that's what they've done all year. They never give up, they don't quit. I think our fans have realized that and understand that we're going through a little transition here and respect these guys also because they do play the game hard. And that, as a manager, that's what you're asking for.
You know what, Ron? Those are things that not only the Tigers were interested in having you, but you were sought after by many MLB teams.
When I met and I interviewed a couple of different places talking with Alan, I've kind of been through this in Minnesota quite a few times. We were a team that's not a big budget, and we lost players all the time, so it was a constant remake the thing and rebuild it. That's what they told me wanted to do here. So I'm kind of used to it. I've done it. It doesn't scare me, and I kind of enjoy the process because you really get to teach. So this is fun.
Yeah, coming from such a winning history with the Twins, what are some of the things that you're bringing to the Tigers?
Well, it's attitude. I mean, we want them, just like they're doing now, is play 9 innings, be ready for the first inning, so you don't get beat there, and all the little things, but run balls out, don't be afraid to steal bases. You know what? This game's about a lot of failure, and you know what? You're gonna if you get one hit out of every 3 or 4 at bats, you're really good. So you're gonna fail a lot. Just keep your head up, keep playing, keep grinding, and that's what they do. And you know what? We're getting better as we go along. We're in so many ball games. We just got to figure out a way to get over the hump, and we will.
And finally, what do you say to the fans who are anxious? This is a rebuild process. How do you kind of calm those fans down?
Well, you're baseball fans, and you just enjoy this baseball team. It's the Detroit Tigers. It's your own team. And I know you guys love it because I've watched it from the other side. I got ridiculed by you, so keep getting on the opposing team and watch these guys play. They're going to make you proud. Here in a year or two, they're going to make you really proud.
Go. Ron Gardenhire is off to a fantastic start, leading the Tigers into a solid 2019 season. I'm Blair Glover for DetroitSportsMedia.com.
I've been active for as long as I can remember. Staying healthy is everything, not just for me, but for my whole family. Kelly and I run, do yoga to find some balance, and work to eat right. From the moment our twins were born at St. Joe's, we've been focused on keeping them safe and healthy. And as a dad, I'm going to do everything I can to be a positive role model. The journey to better health starts with one step. I'm Detroit Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford. Join me.
It's time to learn more. Visit stjoeshealth.org.
Big plays, baby, big plays. That's it. Now we're in. MVP, baby, MVP. Is that Mike?
Yeah, he lost his wall or something. He's on his way.
Classic Mike.
Catch all the action at Buffalo Wild Wings.
When the Buick Open folded up 10 after the 2009 appearance by the PGA Tour pros, it certainly did not sit well with the membership at Warwick Hills. Well, now they've done something about it, as right now the legends of the PGA Tour will appear in the Allied Challenge, which happens in mid-September.
The members are so excited about golf coming back to Warwick Hills. The PGA Tour champions is a great event coming up here in September, and it's only 3 weeks away. Our members are thrilled to have it back. It's good for the community, it's good for local charities, it's good for our club, and great for the Grand Blanc community as well as Flint and Genesee County.
Rocco Mediate says the PGA Tour legend players are already very excited about stopping out at Warwick Hills, and they're already talking in the locker room.
Everybody's pretty much the same as me. Maybe not quite as keep talking about it so much, but everybody can't wait to come back because we never wanted to leave. And then now that we're playing the Champions Tour, we get to come back to a place that we all loved. And you'll see, like I said, when they get here, you'll see. Because everybody that comes to the press room, they'll bring in some other past champions, I'm sure, and Bernhard, of course, will come in, and whoever else comes in, but they're going to say the same thing. They'll remember, because it's exactly the same as we left it, except for a couple of trees, that's it. It's perfect out there. It's fantastic.
The 17th hole at Warwick Hills was always known as being a rowdy place, but sometimes it got a little bit too rowdy, and Rocco Mediate says that it'd be a good balance of having great cheering without some of the, well, I'll let him explain.
But I like the rowdy, excited part about good playing and stuff like that. You can have your favorites, of course, but you don't need to make it verbal to where it demeans somebody. I wouldn't do it. When I go to other sporting events, which isn't much, I don't make fun of people, at least that they can hear. I might hope they strike out, but they're not going to hear it from me. So that's how I would do it. But it's going to be great. We don't have that problem on our deal, at least yet.
Ally Financial is one of the two sponsors of this tournament, and their expertise goes far beyond the golfers as they're looking to bring financial literacy to the entire communities that surround Warwick Hills.
So for us at Ally, really deciding to bring this tournament back to Warwick and back to the Grand Blanc community was really a couple of different aspects that were interesting to us. One, there was a bit of a personal commitment. We are a major Michigan company, and we have a belief that we should give back to the local communities, and so the ability to bring this tournament and have the economic impact of it realized in this community was really important to us. The second is just aligning with golf, which is a great sport. The charitable contributions that golf puts back into the local communities was huge.
Bottom line is that everybody's excited about coming back to Warwick Hills, from the PGA Tour legend players, the membership, and the entire staff, including the pros at the club. And they look forward to bringing the public out to showcase their club and to bring over $20 million in ancillary income to the local Flint community. For Detroit Sports Media, this is Roy J. Akers reporting. Later in our show, we had a hole-in-one winner. Trevor Thompson and the rest of our Detroit Sports Media board will present $10,000 check, and I'll tell you what, it's really exciting to finally give one of those things away.
I've been active for as long as I can remember. Staying healthy is everything, not just for me, but for my whole family. Kelly and I run, do yoga to find some balance, and work to eat right. From the moment our twins were born at St. Joe's, we've been focused on keeping them safe and healthy. And as a dad, I'm going to do everything I can to be a positive role model. The journey to better health starts with one step. I'm Detroit Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford. Join me.
It's time to learn more. Visit stjoeshealth.org.
Unbeatable price, service, selection, and customer satisfaction?
That's the Gowling difference. Only at Gowling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Your Ram store.
During the spring sales event, lease a 2018 Ram 1500 Bighorn Quad Cab 4x4 starting at $199 a month employee, $259 friends and family. Or during the Ram Truck Month, lease a 2018 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4, just $239 employee, $289 friends and family. Get to Gowling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on Telegraph, north of Square Lake, just west of I-75 at exit 75.
Well, it's a special afternoon here at Cadillac of Novi. We are presenting a $10,000 hole-in-one check to Nick Stark. Not a professional golfer, but he's getting paid to be a golfer here today at Cadillac of Novi. And here to talk more about why this is happening and how it's unfolded, we've got the executive manager of Cadillac of Novi, Ed Polburn. Ed, not only did Nick win $10,000, but he also won some pretty good merchandise here. Tell us about that.
So when we do a hole-in-one for the tournaments we do, and especially for the broadcasters, Detroit broadcasters, there's a prize on every hole. So we want to make sure if somebody does get a hole-in-one that they get some kind of merchandise or a trip or clubs or a car. And in this case, it was a Yeti package, which is beautiful because this is the best in the business. So just like Cadillac is.
Now, how many of these have you given away?
Actually, this year we've got the Yeti package and 2 cars we've given away this year. So and then we also donated a car, 2-year lease to a cancer survivors deal we did down at the Dearborn Inn. So
that's pretty cool. So it's very special for you to be here today and hand that out. And we've also got our witness to the hole-in-one. Now, Kirk, you were obviously monitoring hole number 3 at Cherry Creek when number 12 when Nick knocked it in. What happened there, and what did you see unfold?
He was the 3rd golfer of his foursome, and he hit a 3-iron. It's a 193-yard par 3, and it hit. We looked at the ball mark on the green. It hit about 7 feet into the green and rolled probably 15 to 20 feet, and it ended up in the hole.
Ever seen that before?
I've been volunteering for Detroit Sports Media for 8 years on that hole, and as long as they've had the tournament for 32 years, this is the first time they've ever had a hole-in-one. So Nick made history, and I was so glad that it happened on the hole that I was a monitor on. I'm like the golf police for those par 3s.
Nick obviously is pretty special. It's a thrill to get a hole-in-one. What's it like to be here, and who did you bring with you today to help you carry home this big check?
It is quite the thrill. I brought my wife Sarah and my son Nathan and daughter Samantha. It was quite the day to hit a shot like that, and just it looked great off the club, and unfortunately I turned my back on it, and lucky enough Kirk was there to find it in the bottom of the hole. So it was an awesome day.
How many have you had in your golfing life?
27 years of golf and 1 hole-in-one.
Oh, yeah. It's paying off for you big time. And here to present the check, the $10,000 to Nick and his family, we've got our marketing director Bill Harrington and our vice president Jim Ryan. Guys, give this guy his money.
Here is your check, your real check for $10,000, and we appreciate you coming out there. And the next year we're going to call the event the Nick Stark Detroit Sports Media Challenge. So thank you so much for participating, and thanks for playing with
Absolutely.
us. Okay.
I want to thank Ed again. This is his 8th year that he's done this for us, and it is something special, and he always comes through no matter what. I just am very, very proud to have him as my friend and an excellent dealer also.
And we're very thankful for your sponsorship of the event, Ed, and you folks at Cadillac of Novi. Thanks a lot.
I think we've had an outstanding August show for everyone at Detroit Sports Media. We'll look to catch you in September as we have more awesome action, athletes, coaches, and teams. You stay tuned to DSM.com.